I was curious about this when we were going to have you on of how much of your job now as a broadcaster for Fox is your football knowledge and how much of it is the ability to understand TV.
Well, I think it's a great question because I joke with my producer and director all the time. Like the football part, I always felt pretty good about. The football part, I felt like I always understood and I saw, and I really enjoy talking the game and formulating different storylines to present to the viewer and letting them kind of unravel in real time during the broadcast. The TV part is the part I think all of us have to learn, right? You have to learn how to go in and out of commercial breaks. You have to learn how to talk to the truck. I always joke, like, still to this point today, when I want it behind the defense, the fancy TV people call it, I want the pit, I want pit framing. I'm like, I just want behind the defense, whatever that is called, give me that. So I'm still learning some of the nuance, the terminology, where all the cameras are. And I've gotten a lot better now going into my fifth year, but it's very interesting. The football part, I feel like that's the easy part. Making that fit into a 3-hour live broadcast, talk in segments, talk in sound bites, not talking over your play-by-play, commercial breaks, ad reads. Fortunately, I've had great partners. I got Joe Davis now, who's incredible. Kevin Burkhardt before that. They handle all the TV, and I tell them I'll just do the football part. So I've been lucky in that regard.
Well, you're on a play clock too, though, when you think about it,
Yeah.
that you might have 12 seconds to describe something, and then you got to turn it over to your play-by-play guy so he can do his job. And this is
Yep.
where Jim Nantz is unbelievable because Tony will kind of color outside the line sometime, and all of a sudden, Jim's got to grab it at the last second and, go 3rd and 8, So I understand the timing part of it, but so many guys that came through ESPN, these are legendary coaches and players, and I said, you got to understand TV. And even Rodney Harrison and Tony Dungy on Football Night in America, I said, you guys are rookies. You know nothing about TV. Listen to me, and you'll do fine. You know football, but that's only part of the equation. They'd look at you, go, you just talk. I go, no. If somebody in your ear goes, hey, you got 20 seconds. Well, you don't know what 20 seconds is.
Yep.
In real time playing a game, you do. 20 seconds in TV, you're like, I don't know. How long am I going? You went 42 seconds. You're like, I did?
No, and you're spot on. And the voice in your ear is an adjustment. Early on in my career, the natural instinct of anybody is when someone says something to you while you're talking, you stop and you want to listen. Well, obviously you sound silly on live television if you do that. To your point about play-by-play guys, there's no such thing as a good color analyst without a good play-by-play guy. They are the heroes of all of this. They are the professionals, quote unquote. Like, they keep this train on the tracks running and give you the space and the breath and the leads to then talk about the things that they really know you're interested in or you feel good about and you want to take the broadcast. So it is more of a dance. It is a rhythm. It's ever changing. Every game has a different cadence. There's games that have a million penalties and a million commercial breaks and a million injuries. Those get super choppy. And then there's the dream games, which every play is a long, fluid drive. There's multiple first downs in every possession. You can really let some of these storylines unravel. You don't feel like you have to force it in because it's a 3-and-out punt commercial. So again, the part of the experience that I've enjoyed the most is the unpredictability of it, where you have a basic idea of the matchup, you have a basic idea of the flow of the game, but then once it's kicked off, no different than a player, nobody can sit there and say, I know exactly how this game's going to go, and I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z in that order. Chances are that's going to be thrown upside down, and then you have to adjust on the fly and make it sound fun and interesting.